Hi, welcome to this video for Ed's Armada Robot, where I'll be going over movement for the robot ships. I'm using the Vassal Armada module for this video, so a big thanks to Green Knight for the great job he's been doing making the module available for the community. Here I've got a game set up for Solar Corona. So the robot is going to be the Empire ship. So I've added this token here just to say that it's the robot. And the robot's got first player. So I've already gone through all the setup. We won't go through that again. And the idea here is to take a quick look at the different choices for the robot ships and then look at the guidelines. So if we look at the robot ships, what we can see is that the ISD is its preferred range is going to be medium. It's going to be targeting the flagship. It is a forward facer, and it is a carrier, so it's going to be pushing the squadrons a lot of the time. Next, we have Demo, the gladiator right here. And so he's a short range, targeting the flagship. He's a flanker movement profile, and he's an attacker. Next up, we have the Architons right here. So he's long range, targeting the flagship as well. He's a broadsider, and he's got the attacker command type. And last but not least, we have this little Gazanti here, who's going to be medium range. He's going to be targeting the ISD as an escorter with vanilla commands, or every now and then he's going to, when it's appropriate, he's going to be behaving like a carrier targeting the flagship. Okay, so those are the different robot cards. It's important to see that their movement profile is going to dictate how they move, how you make them move with the robot with regards to their target, which is the flagship. So they're going to be flying and trying to hit this MC-80 command cruiser with Ag-8 on board. Okay, so that's what they're going to be trying to do. Fly and kill the flagship is going to be their plan. So let's take a look at the movement guidelines for the robot. So I'm on page 11 of the document. So what's going to happen is they're going to be following the movement guideline priorities, which are here, their movement profile, and then they're going to be flying towards their target. So the guideline priorities are hierarchy. So number one, they always want to stay on the board. Number two, they want to try and avoid ramming each other. Number three, they want to double arc enemy ships. They want to avoid obstacles, and they'll ram enemy ships on a 1 to 7 unless they have 2 or less hull points remaining, because they wouldn't want to kill themselves. They'll always ram if that would destroy the enemy ship without destroying themselves. Okay, now this is a hierarchy, which means they will always stay on the board. Okay, they will ram an enemy ship, a friendly ship, if that lets them stay on the board. And it also means that if to get a double arc, they will land on an obstacle if that will let them get a double arc. Okay, so the robot's pretty aggressive. And so those are the movement priorities. And then the guidelines are his movement profiles. So if we go back to look at the cards, so if we see here, this ISD, okay, he's going to want to move towards his target, which is this flagship here. And he's a forward facer, so he keeps his front pointed at his target. So he's going to move towards his target and keep his nose pointed towards it. The demo here, this gladiator, demolisher, he's short range. He's also targeting the flagship, and he's a flanker. So what he's going to try and do is stay away from the most dangerous arc of his target. So that's the side arc for an MC-80. So he's going to try and fly either in front or behind that enemy ship. And last, we have the Architons, who's a broadsider. So he's going to try and fly into his preferred range. Okay, so that's long range. So he's going to try and get within long range of this enemy ship and then turn his broadside, turn his sides towards his target and try and concentrate his fire in broadside attacks. Okay, so that's the logic of how you navigate them together. So I'll pause the video and go through the first through the first round, and then we'll pick up on round 2. So here we're at the bottom of the second round. So just starting up, the robot player rolls and decides that nobody's really very threatened. No one's got a great attack. So we're going to go through and activate the smallest ship. And the smallest ship is this Gazanti. If we take a look at its movement profile, okay, that Gazanti is an escorter. So it wants to stay within range 3 of its friendly target, which is the ISD. So this thing wants to stay there. So I rolled and got a repair order. So he's going to go ahead and sling his repair order over to his friendly target. So he's going to give him a repair command token, and he's going to navigate. He's going speed 2, and he just wants to stay next to his friendly target. So we're going to navigate him, and he would probably want to stay just to the left here, not get in the way. That puts him pretty good. So up, up, and there we go. I'll activate the rebels and be right back with the next Imperial robot activation. So so I moved this this flotilla here and slung over a repair token to the neb. Next, for the robot, rolled on the activation order and got a 3, so we just run down the chart. And there's nobody really who has a great attack, again, or same board state. So rolled randomly to determine are we going to do him or him, and it seems to be make more sense for it to be him, and that's what the roll confirmed too. So I just gave it a 1 to 5. So this fellow is going to move. He got a nav order as his attacker, and he wants to zero on the MC-80, and he wants to stay out of this side arc. So he's currently going speed 2, so he's going to accelerate to speed 3. And he's going to see if he can shimmy over and stay out of that arc. Okay, and he'll use his token to do that. There we go. He's still out of range, so we're going to have to see to do something significant with him. He's going to have to be really fast. And I'll go through the rebel and be right back for the next activation. So the rebels went. I activated the CR-90 here, who swung around and took a shot at the Architans and swung around. Robot determined that it was, again, smallest to largest. The last small ship remaining is this Architans. So he took a side shot onto the MC-80, because that's his main target, and a front shot of opportunity out into the only available target. As a reminder, the robot always takes all of its shots, even if it's not the priority target. So now we have an interesting situation, because this Architans is a broadsider. So he's at long range. See, he's just at long range of his target, and he wants to stay at long range. He doesn't want to get too close because his preferred range is long. So we have a nav command dialed up, and he's going speed 2. So here, I think what we'd do is we'd slow down, because if I speed up to speed 2, we can see where that would take me. Okay, if I stay at speed 2 and move this ship here, the robot's going to end up looking like he's going to be, one, double arced by this MC-80, which is bad news, and maybe even double arced by this CR-90 on the next turn. So that's not a very good move, and he's moving even closer. So I think I'll use the navigate, slow down, and the question is, do I give it a slight turn? Maybe. I'm not sure. So I'll roll a die. I'll give it a 1 to 5. I stay as just straight, and 6 to 10. I move over a die flip. I stay straight. Roll the 4. Oops, sorry. There. So he's just going to slot that in, move 1, and lower his speed. Okay, trying to stay at long range of his target, and I've got my favorite side, my broadside presented to him, so I'm good as far as the guidelines go, and I haven't hit that rock, which is good as well. So I'll activate the next human ship, my next rebel ship, and come back to the robot. So the Nebulon activated, took a couple of shots at the Architans, and then swooped around here. These guys are going to be trying to flank around this ISD, give them a hard time. So the last ship to activate, that could activate, was the ISD. So he got a squadron command, and activated the squadrons here, which took a big chunk out of the rebels, took out the YT and took out the rogue squadron. And now his primary target is him. So as far as navigating goes, he wants to keep his front pointing towards him because he's a forward facer, and he wants to try to get into medium range. So I have a nav token. So the question is, am I going to use it? He hasn't activated yet. So I probably need to be just a little bit cagey. I'm not sure if does speed 3 get me into medium range of him? No, should be okay because I want to get into medium range, so I'm gonna have to take a hit eventually. And what I can do here is this, so that I keep my nose pointed towards him, because he's going to be moving here, so I have to anticipate the end zone. So yeah, so keep him like this, and go through there. Okay, so I ran over some squads, so I'll move these guys back. I want to keep Hal Runner there because she's only on 1 point as the human player. There. And he's accelerated to 3 and spent his token. I think it was his last one. No. There. Okay, so he spent his token, and that's the Empire. So I'll move the rebels, finish the fighters, and come back for round 3 for more Imperial robot movement. So we finished off the squadron activations. Lando took out Halrunner here, and these 2 TIE bombers moved in there. Tycho and Shara moved up to protect the MC-80. Right, so the robot rolled and got a standard roll, so there was no real amazing attack, but there was a most threatened. This Architans is quite threatened because he's a bit in the grinder, so we're going to activate him first. We took a side shot into the MC-80 and another shot into the front. We had a concentrate fire, so we chose to put the extra red dice off the front because it wasn't obstructed. And as far as movement goes, well, we want to, again, stay as far away from that MC-80 as possible. So we're just going to stay speed 1, and I think we're just going to shimmy over, just go over just 1 like this, maybe 2. 2 might be better. Yeah, 2 looks good. 2 clicks. And that way we've cleared that asteroid field. We've avoided the double arc. We got double arced by the CR-90, but you can't. But that's life in the fast lane. Right, so I'll activate the next rebel, and we'll come back for another movement. Okay, so the rebel Corvette activated, took a chunk out of the Architans and scooted around here. And next up for the robot is the ISD, who was deemed to have the best attack because it was now had an arc into the CR-90, and it could shoot out its front into the MC-80. Got a squadron order, so activated its squadrons, took a serious chunk out of Lando, who only just saved himself with 1 point remaining, and on a coin flip, bombed the CR-90, deeming that with these 2 guys protecting the MC-80, I wouldn't get any good bombing runs in there. So on a coin flip, went for the CR-90. So as far as navigating goes, again, forward facer, distance, speed 3, and medium range. I have nothing with which I can change my speed now. I'm at speed 3 and I can't slow down. So I think what I'm going to want to do is turn over to the left here, because this MC-80 is going to keep on moving straight or over here or over there in some way, but it's going to be moving this way. So I want to arc over and stay relevant by being by moving on the left like that. So it's getting me in closer than I ideally want to go, but there's nothing I can do about that because the robot has no tokens, nothing that it can do any speed control with. So move into 3, and I run over Tycho. So Tycho, I'll just move him to the front there. Right, so I'll come back, I'll activate a rebel, and be right back. So next up, We're activating smallest first because nobody's got an attack, nobody's threatened, flagship's already gone, so the activation order is just smallest ship available, and that's the Gazanti. So he got a repair order, so he's going to sling the token over to his big ISD friend, who spent his repair token last turn, by the way, to increase just a front shield, and he's going to take a shot. He took a shot at this CR90, and he is going to try and stay relevant. He wants to stay within distance 3 of his target because he is an escorter. So he'll just shimmy over so he doesn't run into him in the future. Just shimmy over like that. And that's the Empire. So the Nebulon activated, took a chunk out of the Architans again. It lost another point. It's down to only a couple of shields left in the back. And next up is the Gladiator, who's got a navigate order. He took a shot and took out Lando with his last with a flak attack. And he's still moving max speed. He can't go any further and can't go any faster. So he's just going to try and scoot up into the MC-80, who's still his target. He's a flanker, so he wants to stay away from the side arc, but he's outside of range anyway, so it doesn't really matter right now. So he's just going to go in here, and there's nothing for him to take his second demo shot at. So that's all of the robot ships have gone. The last rebel ship, the MC-80, activated. Forgot to move its chaff token up. Activated, took a side shot, took out the Architans, and is scooting around here. So that is the end of the third round. And all of the fighters, all of the squadrons have activated because this flotilla activated these two A-wings, Shara and Tycho, and they did a little bombing run on the ISD, and that's the end of the third round. And so I hope this. I'm going to stop the demo here because it's already been about 15 minutes. So hopefully that'll give you an idea of how to use the robot, how to navigate the ships, because navigation is where the robot needs the most help. And yeah, so basically you look at the guidelines, you respect the hierarchy of the guidelines, and the ships navigate towards their target and respect their movement profile and their preferred range. They try and get into their preferred range and adopt their movement profile with regards to their target. So I hope this will be helpful for anyone who's having difficulty navigating the robot ships, and have a great time. Thanks very much. Cheers.